By adapting Lee Child's Gone Tomorrow, Reacher Season 4 is finally breaking a redundant storytelling trend. The Amazon Prime Video detective series was off to a strong start when it adapted the first book, Killing Floor, from Lee Child's Jack Reacher book series. However, instead of treading the same path as many novel adaptations and following the source material's chronology, Reacher Season 2 switched things up a little by picking the 11th book, Bad Luck and Trouble, in Lee Child's original series. Season 3 continued this trend by adapting the 7th book, Persuader, and bringing another compelling story from the novel series to the small screen. With Reacher Season 4, the Prime Video show is taking on Lee Child's 13th novel, Gone Tomorrow, which is often touted as one of the best books in the original series. Interestingly, Gone Tomorrow's story ensures that Prime Video's Reacher introduces a major storytelling shift after seasons 1, 2, and 3 consistently followed one narrative trope. In Reacher Season 1, the titular character had no intentions of sticking around in Margrave for long. However, he ended up staying in the small town and got involved in its deeply rooted criminal conspiracy soon after learning that his brother had been murdered there. Although Reacher was driven by his strong sense of justice, he was also on a warpath against the villains because he wanted revenge. Reacher Season 2 raised the stakes for the character by featuring a bigger setting and more dangerous antagonists. Reacher's motives, though, remained the same in Season 2, given how he and his former team members from the 110th Special Investigation Unit were primarily driven by their hunger for revenge after the main villain murdered their military allies. Despite having a different setting and initial story setup, Reacher Season 3 did not change this trend and walked through another revenge story where Jack Reacher only agreed to be the DA's informant because it gave him the opportunity to exact revenge on a man responsible for killing his military police colleague. Instead of being driven by a lust for revenge, it is Reacher's underlying guilt and curiosity that encourage him to understand and uncover the woman's backstory. Fortunately, instead of repeating the storytelling trend for the 4th time, Reacher Season 4 is changing things by adapting Lee Child's Gone Tomorrow. In the original book, Jack Reacher finds himself in the middle of another conspiracy after he fails to save a suicide bomber from taking her own life. Instead of being driven by a lust for revenge, it is Reacher's underlying guilt and curiosity that encourage him to understand and uncover the woman's backstory. This adds another layer to Reacher's character, showing how revenge is not the only force that motivates him. Revenge proved to be a potent driving force for Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher in the Prime Video show Seasons 1, 2, and 3. It highlighted that even though the character carried himself with a stoic demeanor and rarely showed his emotions, he deeply cared about all the people who crossed paths with him in the past. Each season also featured flashbacks that revealed how Reacher forged some of his most formative relationships that shaped his sense of justice and protectiveness towards his loved ones.